Hey everybody, welcome back to Jimmy's Promo. Today is June 28th and Samsung just pushed off the latest update to the Galaxy S23 devices. This is that mega update that we've been waiting for. Not only does it give us the June 1st patch, but it will also give us the ability of doing that 2x portrait zoom inside of that portrait photo. So if you go inside a portrait, as of right now, it's only 1x and 3x. And 3x sometimes kind of seems a little bit too close to the subject or person or thing we're taking a picture of. And then maybe sometimes we would have to physically move backwards to get into the frame perfectly, but with the 2x, it'll make it much easier. But not only were we waiting for that 2x, we were also waiting for a little bit better improvements with haptics, better improvements with HDR, and they have gone through and fixed all of those for us. Now, again, when I mentioned mega update, usually the monthly updates with the security patch in small fixes are right around, 150, maybe 230, maybe 300 megabytes. This one's 2,200 megabytes, which means 2.2 gig of an update. This is not anything small, and there's been a lot of improvements. So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you where you can find this update. I had to physically go through, manually find it. You just want to go inside your settings, go down to where it says software update. Now inside of software update, you can take a look at your last update, which the last time we got an update was on May 9th. But up here, you go to download and install, and it's going to sit right here. Now, once this update goes through and finishes, we're going to take a look at the camera, make sure that that 2x is still sitting there as it's supposed to be there. Now, after this update, we're also going to take a look at Samsung Smart Switch. We'll take a look at the clock. We'll take a look at Samsung Messages and the Home to see if any of those have newer, improved versions. But usually at this point in the video, I like to state that if you're brand new here at the channel Jimmy is Promo, you appreciate these tips, tricks, tutorials, and the latest information on Samsung products and updates. Make sure you guys hit on that subscribe button as well as the bell for notifications to get notified for all future videos. So along with the addition of the 2x inside of the portrait mode, Samsung also improved the HDR. They improved night mode. They also have an improvement or fixes for auto focusing. They also improved the haptic feedback, and there's also smoother animations for Samsung One UI. And on top of that, there's over 50 security fixes, and that's just kind of going everywhere through the phone. Sometimes that's what brings us the newer versions, of Samsung Messages or of Samsung Smart Switch or security mode or Samsung Pay. So there's a lot of things baked into this big update. So the update is done and complete. So the first thing that I want to take a look at will be inside of the camera. This is where I want to go inside of portrait mode. And there we go. Super excited to see that 2x sitting there. So again, this was a pretty big deal. Sometimes the focal length between 1 and 3 was almost just too much of a change. I mean, 1x, you were just maybe too far away from the subject. 3x, maybe you were too close, and then you physically had to step backwards to take the picture. And now maybe you are at the exact length of what you're looking for, from the focal point along with exactly where you're physically standing. You're able to take a really good picture. Maybe that type of depth is what you're looking for, a little bit more or a little bit better than what the 3x or 1x has to offer. So very excited to finally see that portrait mode come in. I've been talking about this for the last 1.5, maybe 2 months, that this feature would be added in with a upcoming update, and here it is right now. Again, super excited. So how about we take a look at the versions of some of these applications that I wrote down before the video. So when it comes down to the camera, the version used to be 13.1.01.28. It is now 13.1.01.35, and again, that change of that version is just helping with that 2x portrait, the HDR improvement, the night mode improvement, and as well as a autofocus fix, basically all built into that little batch. Then we're also going to take a look at a couple other Samsung applications. Another one I want to take a look at is going to be the Samsung clock. So when it comes down over into the clock, I kind of believe that there's a newer version. If we don't see it here, it might be in the Galaxy store, but this one beforehand was 12.2.0.8.4. This is 12.2.0.8.4, so it looks as if it's the same version from before. I believe I actually updated the clock from Samsung Galaxy Store just a few days ago or a week ago, so maybe that's where that update came from. we're going to take a look at Samsung Home. So with Samsung Home, we're going to go right over here. Originally, it used to be 14.1.03.47. This one's now 14.1.03.49. So a newer version of the Samsung Home. And again, the reason why is improvements with the smoother animations for Samsung One UI for this update. We're also going to take a look at Samsung Smart Switch. So we're going to go inside of here. We're going to search for Samsung Smart Switch because I believe there is a newer version for it. So let's see here, bring data from old device, go to the very top, go inside of the settings. Let's see here, about Samsung Smart Switch. Now, originally this one was 3.7.44.4. This one looks like the same version, 3.7.44.4. And then lastly, we're going to take a look at Samsung Messages. Now, I don't use Samsung Messages. I use Google Messages. I mean, it's just way better. So now we're going to go inside of the information here. So this version used to be 14.1.21.12. This one's 14.2.10.5. So a complete different update for Samsung Messages as well. So if you use Samsung Messages, if you had any problems or issues or something with the keyboard or even haptic feedback, again, haptic feedback was one of those things that was incorporated with this update. So they probably added it inside of Samsung Messages to also make it better, along with other Samsung applications. Now, there is one more thing that might have had a change, and maybe it was with this update or maybe something recently that maybe I didn't take note of or didn't notice it. Now, because we were talking about portrait mode with the 2X, I wanted to go over inside of the portrait video. I knew that we were specifically talking about portrait mode, but I was curious if there was anything new with portrait video. And inside of here, one of the things I noticed was on the very top, there was a orange dot. An orange dot always means that there is something new added or changed or updated, and it was with the Ultra HD. So between this, you have Ultra HD and Full HD. I can't remember if before this update, if this option up here was there. And if it was there, there is an orange dot giving us something, letting us know that something was updated here as well inside of portrait video with either Ultra HD or Full HD or both, where maybe it was the autofocus fix, maybe it was something with night mode, or maybe the full edition of one of these options up here of the resolution, either Ultra HD or Full HD. So if you're able to take a look at your phone before the update, take a look at portrait video, let me know in the comment section below if you noticed this up here with the change of Full HD and Ultra HD. And if you did, and that just means that there's a little bit of an update with one of these ones here, probably with either autofocus or night mode or something like that. But I noticed that that was a orange dot letting me know that something was new, and I wanted to throw it here in this video. Now, those were all of the applications that I took a look at before the update. You know, there's going to be quite a few other ones that got updated as well, especially inside of this Samsung folder. I'd say the majority of all these probably maybe have seen a newer version. We're also going inside of the Galaxy Store, because every time you do an update, you want to take a look at the Galaxy Store. You can see here that there is 9 of them sitting here. So here's Samsung Gallery that, instead of them throwing it into that batch of an update, you're able to just do it through the Galaxy Store. So it kind of brings the size of the update down a little bit, or this update brings the ability to update all of these ones here. So you got Zoom, you got Bixby Vision. So some of these has nothing to do with Samsung at all, but they are sitting here if you did grab them through the Galaxy Store. Bixby Vision Framework got an update, and then also the Samsung Reminder got an update as well. Let's see here. If I scroll down, there's nothing else for Samsung down there. But again, every time we do an update of a phone every month, sometimes that unlocks other updates inside the Galaxy Store, or they release it the same time. Sometimes you can look at the Galaxy Store and notice that there's quite a few updates of Samsung applications. And if you haven't updated your phone for a while, you might want to take a look at your software update, because sometimes they push them the exact same day or exact same time. Now let's go inside of the Samsung mobile security site. Let's take a look to see what is new in terms of some of the vulnerabilities that was also fixed. So all I did was I went inside of the software information page. I'm going to tap on this Android security patch level. This little website up here, you can take a look at it whenever you want to. It happens to be baked into the Samsung, software information side of things. So I can place this link below the video inside the description. This is where you can read the bulletin from Android, but then also from the Samsung team of what is new. So this is coming from Samsung Mobile Security. Here's the June 2023 patch. As you scroll down, you'll be able to take a look at what is critical, what is high. So 1, 2, looks like 3 of them are critical. And usually when you see a big list like this is right around 50 of the high vulnerabilities, none of them moderate. And as you scroll through, you can kind of see what some of these, is kind of coming from. So Knox ID validation. Now, there's really not much down here of what Samsung is mentioning of what's new with their stuff. So usually this is like a longer list of what's going on. So it doesn't look like that there's a lot of stuff that's written out other than what is here up on the very top for high and also critical. So very, very basic right here. Nothing too crazy inside of the Samsung mobile security page of things. But when it comes down to this update itself, there's a lot of stuff mixed in there. Again, adding in the 2x for portrait mode, adding in an improvement for HDR and also night mode and an autofocus fix, along with smoother animations for Samsung One UI and improvements for the haptic feedback. So hopefully you guys appreciated this video. I tried to go as in depth as I could to take a look at every single thing. We took a look at a few applications of what was new, but the biggest thing is right here, that portrait 2x, so much better sometimes than the 1x and as well as the 3x. But hopefully you guys appreciated this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit subscribe on the very bottom left hand side. And if you like this video, then more than likely you'll also like this video. And I'll see you guys later.